Bring in Eurasia Group's president, Ian Bremmer. Ian, your commentary is it's a chilling read today, but the one thing that stands out is that you write Hamas has launched a suicidal war and will pay mightily for it. What are you bracing yourself for?
I'm bracing myself for a long ground offensive, something that Netanyahu himself and very many Israeli leaders have always resisted, because urban warfare leads to insurgency, lots of civilian casualties. It's very bloody. It's very painful. And so this is not going to be a matter of just weeks or months. We may be looking at a new normal for how the Israelis view Gaza. And I mean, I'm saying that with a lot of conviction, in part, Carl, because the atrocities committed by Hamas terrorists against the Israelis this weekend do reflect the greatest savagery that we've ever seen against Jews on the planet since the Holocaust. And 10 million Israel citizens who, live surrounded by enemies. The impact this is going to have on them and their government is really almost unimaginable for any of us sitting in the United States.
Yeah, it's truly hard to comprehend. Ian, you mentioned the new normal. I've seen others calling for a new world order for the region. What do you think that ultimately looks like?
Well, let's be clear that part of the reason this happened is because we are seeing a new world order. Israel, I mean, as much as we have to talk about what they've just faced, Israel's also in the best geopolitical position that they've been in decades. It's precisely because lots of countries in the region have been willing to do business with Israel, even open diplomatic relations with Israel, without any preconditions on how they're treating the Palestinians. Indeed, the position of the Palestinians has only gotten markedly worse over the last decade, with the ramping up dramatically of military checkpoints and of Israeli settlements in the West Bank. At the same time that Israel now has relations ongoing with the UAE, with Bahrain, with Morocco. If you go to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, you see Israeli tourists every day. It's a wonderful thing. But at the same time, nothing was happening to resolve the Palestinian issue. And, you and I have spoken about the Israel situation in the last 6 months. We haven't talked about the Palestinians at all. We were talking about a judicial reform that was leading to a constitutional crisis and demonstrations on the ground. The Israelis were taking their eye off the ball in terms of Palestinian security, and particularly in terms of Gaza. And I do believe that in part it is this new world order where leaders around the region are willing to work with Israel absent the United States that led the Hamas leadership, a bunch of ideological dead-enders calling for the destruction of Israel, to do something so dramatic and so suicidal. And that means that we are now not going to ignore the Palestinian situation. We're going to be talking about it. They're going to be relevant for the region and for the world, but in a way that is going to lead to just enormous destruction of the Palestinian territories.